Remember I told you how before I came back, one of the things I asked the Lord was whether or not to cut my hair, and the Lord told me not to cut my hair.
If native doctor can't say God told me, nobody go believe.
About this person that I saw, this pastor with long hair and the sword, it made no sense, but I told everybody.
I want to ask you one question. Did God also tell you to put on earrings? So now, how we go take no saying that God tell you? So we should just believe your word, hook, like, and sinker. For our Christian religion, whenever pastors or men of God use that phrase, the Lord told me, it is very, very deceiving, because how we go take verify say now God tell you? How we go take verify from the Lord say, abeg water, now you tell this pastor say make him do this? We use that statement, that phrase, the Lord told me, just because of our own selfish interest and motivation. Instead of saying the Lord told me, you fit talk say, I felt in my spirit to do this. It's different from the Lord told me. Because this pastor wey been be actor, where they go with dreads, tell in church members say the Lord told him not to cut his hair or to grow his hair. And I don't see so many reactions for comment section. But before I talk my own mind about wetin this pastor talk, make una watch the video for una self, because him bin come justify why him leaving here. Abeg guys, watch am together with me.
Remember I told you how before I came back, one of the things I asked the Lord was whether or not to cut my hair, and the Lord told me not to cut my hair. I said, Lord, you sure? He said, don't cut it. I said, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm crazy enough to follow you. Let's do it together. I told you that ASP came to me. My sister's like, this your hair? I'm like, yeah. She says, you know when they try to give you like old adages, and she says, to clean a fish, you must first catch it. In other words, if you're going to bring about change, it must be first accepted. Truly wise words, truly from a good place, truly from a heart of concern. But I knew what God had said to me. So I say to her, sis, I hear you, but go pray. God will speak to you. She has a vision. She sees me preaching with my hair. She comes back and says, oh, guess what? You're not supposed to cut your hair. I said, I know, because he already told me. Now that's not the part of story I'm going to. A couple of weeks ago, it's on a Sunday, and Pastor Tony comes in and tells me, and he says, there is a lady outside from Zimbabwe that came to see you, and she flew in from Zimbabwe. Now Zimbabwe is southern Africa. She flew from the tip of southern Africa all the way to West Africa because she wanted to come to church. I said, what do you mean? So I'm like, please bring this lady in. And she begins to tell me a story. Now she's like so excited. She says, people think I'm crazy. I told everybody I'm coming to Nigeria for the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm just coming to church. So we're like, huh? What happened? And she begins to tell me the story. Listen to this. It was 2016. I was in New York. It was Thanksgiving. And I had a vision, and it felt so real. In this vision, I see you with your hair, and you're speaking to me. And I've been dealing with some things in my life, and there was like this dog on my shoulder, and I knew that this dog represented the weight I was carrying. And she says, you had this long sword, and you began to speak to me, and it felt like lightning and thunder was coming out from the sword, and he burnt the dog into ashes, and he began to declare over me, and I gave her certain instructions. She says, when I came out from this vision, it was so real that I told everybody in my family about this vision, about this person that I saw, this pastor with long hair and a sword. It made no sense, but I told everybody. She says, fast forward to 2025. She said, after that vision, I went through a tough breakup, lost everything in a divorce. My ex took the house, said everything I worked for. It was a tough time. She says, all of my family are Seventh-day Adventists, by the way, but I lost everything. I said, to compound issues, my mom got sick, and I watched her die in my arms. And so I was flung into depression. I wanted to end it all. And all I knew was I had to find God. So I was trying to find him, like, I need God to find me. And she says, so I turned on YouTube just to hear sermons. It says, all of a sudden, pops up on YouTube is your sermon, and you're preaching mercy me. And she says, you don't understand, because listen, when I had this vision,
the thing for Africa be say, once person sabi how to speak good English and you sabi command crowd, the next place where your eye dey chook na to go into church ministry. As you don't tell us, say, God told you not to cut your hair. God told you to grow your hair like Samson. I beg. I want to ask you one question. Did God also tell you to put on earring? Because I see you with earring they preach. If you ever want justify, say God tell you make you put on earring, I beg, go and read Isaiah chapter 3 verse 16 to 24. Unless you won't tell me, say your own Christianity, your own pastorship, you only they use New Testament, they preach, you they ignore the Old Testament. So you won't tell me, say, Mr. Pastor, say you are the new Samson. Even Samson, where God talks, say making no cutting hair, he no been tell Samson directly, he been telling parents, so that as a boy grow, he grew without even cutting his hair in the first place. But you, once upon a time, you were always on low cut. So now as God don't call you, he can't give you instruction, say no cut your hair. See, these deceptions where our pastors they use, it's not right, doesn't make sense. If that is your trademark, if as you don't be pastor, okay, you don't decide say your trademark now to leave dreads, to leave afro, to leave whatever, as Pastor Chris been they do Jericho, so you want tell me say now God been tell Pastor Chris make you do Jericho. Nobody go judge. Yes, we go judge you because we be humans, but at the end of the day, your work and your relationship is with God. No need to come they tell us, say God told me this, God told me this. How we go now take verify, say now God tell you, say make you no cut your hair. Are you Samson? Even God will tell Samson make you no cut your hair. God used Samson as a judge for Israel, as in, okay, into this one, as the president of Israel. You be pastor, God tell make you no cut your hair just to save somebody. We no come to judge anybody, but me, I just make my analysis. Say pastors, they use this very statement, God told me, God told me, God told me. We should stop making use of that statement, because at the end of the day, it is deceiving. At the end of the day, we cannot verify if actually it's God told you or not. So now, how we go take no saying now God tell me? So we should just believe your word, hook, line, and sinker. God told me, all right, Papa, God told you, amen. If drunkard now can't tell say God told me, nobody go believe. If native doctor can't say God told me, nobody go believe. Now only pastors God they tell, as if God know they talk to everybody. Understand? So make sense.